Hey guys, welcome to Think Duality. I'm so excited to share with you this piece that we've been thinking about wanting to do for quite some time. We just never kind of got around to it, but now I get a chance to talk about it. And it's a little different off script from what we normally talk about here, as our focus and attention really lies on things related to finance and current affairs, and just anything and exciting that's happening around the world. But this particular topic has to do with architecture. Really, it has to do with a super mega structure facility that's really going to be impactful from a financial perspective, and impactful for the country of India, and impactful for the world as well. So let me get into it. I'm talking about India just built one of the world's largest convention centers facilities. I mean, this thing is massive. It's a super mega structure, and I'm surprised there hasn't been as much media about it, but definitely in India. And if you're in Asia, headlines almost every day about this particular, about this beautiful infrastructure. So, like I said, India just built one of the world's largest convention centers and facilities, and it is here to make a statement. And it's essentially saying that India's open for business and they're ready to compete in Asia. So let's talk about that. So the Prime Minister of India himself, Narendra Modi, he made history by inaugurating the first phase of this mega superstructure at the International Convention and Expo Center, the IICC, back on September 17th, which subsequently happens to be the Prime Minister's birthday. So happy belated birthday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This convention center took 6.5 years to complete. And right now we're talking about phase one. Phase two will be coming soon, and I'll get to phase two in just a second here. But the state-of-the-art modern convention center, also referred to as the YashoBhoomi, is set to become one of the world's largest facilities in the world, and it's built across 73,000 square meters of area. Now, this facility also is referred to as MICE. Now, not to confuse with the little critters that run around. Mind you, there might be a few critters that run around in this facility, but when I'm talking about MICE, MICE stands for meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions. Now, this facility is going to include about 15 convention rooms, the main auditorium, a ballroom, and 13 meeting rooms that could hold a total of anywhere between 11,000 delegates to about 20,000 people. And the foyer itself, if we're talking about the foyer, when you come in, the foyer is about 1 kilometer in length. So, quite a feat, definitely. Now, the project costs equate to about 5,400 Indian crores. So if you want to get a perspective, if you want to understand what that equates to in US dollars, we're talking about 1.2 billion-ish dollars. So it's definitely getting up there. It's a very, very pricey infrastructure. So you can just well imagine all the details and the fine intricacies and that went into this rather complex project. Now, this facility is hosting right now, as we speak, many different conventions and meetings, and it's going to continue to do so in the coming months and years. This facility will also boast a state-of-the-art wastewater treatment system with 100% wastewater reuse. So definitely eco-friendly. It's got a lot of LEED and a lot of all the top certifications that went into this. There are so many eco-friendly and green initiatives included in this, in the engineering and infrastructure of this project, including rainwater harvesting to make it very, very sustainable. So definitely trying to reduce their carbon footprint, so kudos to them. This convention center will also hold the country's largest LED media facade. So the design and architecture itself, it has a lot of beautiful patterns and designs, and a lot of it stems from the Indian culture. Phase two, which is to come, is going to have about anywhere between. There's a lot of talks about how many hotels and retail establishments that are going to get into the area, but there's about 9 3 to 5 star hotels that are going to be popping up in this area. And when I'm talking about hotels, I'm not just talking about a few stories. I mean, these are going to be big mega hotels. It's anywhere from between 3 to 5 stars, so you're going to get your range there definitely. And it'll definitely attract the ire and interest of many of the top retailer brands in the world, a lot of whom have already talked about wanting to get their space and or have some space in that area. So they're already this facility has booked over 100 exhibitions and 100 conventions over the next 2 years. So it's gonna be incredible to see what transpires out of this. But it's important to note that India has one of the world's largest population bases, right? And we're talking about a population demographic that's anywhere between 1.4, 1.4 and a quarter plus billion people. That's a lot of people, and this facility, as I mentioned, is built in Delhi's Dwarka's region. Delhi itself is a city that is absolutely unbelievable. Delhi is not like any other city that you've been to. It has approximately 33 million inhabitants, making it the second largest city in India. And, or sorry, my apologies. It is the second most populated city in the world. Yes, it's one of the largest cities, one of the larger cities in India, but it's one of the second largest cities in the world, trailing just slightly behind Tokyo in Japan. If you want to put into perspective just how big Delhi is, it's about 3 times bigger than the country of Greece or Portugal. That's pretty big. Imagine 3 times bigger than Greece or Portugal. Now, India wants to put its stamp on the world as a premier destination for global expos and conventions. Now, they have an agenda, they've got a mission, and this is why it was very important that the YashoBhoomi facility was created. They will be competing with the likes of Dubai, China, Europe, and many other countries and nations around the world. They want to be in the same breath and in the same league as that of Shanghai, Hong Kong, and Singapore. And they're definitely on their way to achieve that with their marketing initiatives happening all around the world. Like I said, they're already catching the interest and excitement of many of the top retailer brands who want to get their facilities and establishments set up there. However, it's important to note that China accounts for more than 68%, approximately 68%, which works out to be about 4.1 million square meters of total available space for exhibition facilities in Asia, while India only accounts for about 4.9%, 0.3 square million meters of share in Asia. So China is still the top dog, and they're the king. And India is trying to get in there, and they're trying to take a piece of that pie for themselves. Now, in other words, China has taken the lead, as I mentioned before. They're obviously the king when it comes to conventions and expos, and they've hosted over 515 events in Asia, to a tune of about 28% compared to Indian venues that hosted 131 events at 7.1%. So again, India is trying to make its mark now with this new beautiful infrastructure and facility, and apparently there's many facilities and expo convention centers that are yet to come. So they're trying to take a big piece of the market share and a big piece of that pie. They want to be a player, and they want to be a player. They don't want to be just, having a small little percentage of that market share. They want to be one of the premier places to host conventions and expos. As the world population continues to grow, we will see more of these kinds of facilities popping up to accommodate the needs to host events to larger demographics, especially in the places like India and other countries around the world, as more and more people are coming into the fray, and as tourism starts to grow exponentially. You can bet that India and a lot of other countries are going to step up and they're going to compete for that pie, as I was talking about. Um, Facilities like this are absolutely incredible to see up front and up close in person. And if given the chance, I would love to see it. I'd love to see it in person. It will be interesting to see what phase two will look like, what comes out of it. But I'm more excited about the opportunities this is going to potentially yield from. In terms of commerce and in terms of growth, and what this could do for not only the country, but for the world itself too, right? As business leaders and companies around the world are going to start to see this place as an area where they can potentially host a lot of their events, and in turn be able to learn a little bit more about the country and its exports and its products, and that we could see a lot more business dealings coming out of this. So it's going to be a win-win, not only just for the country of India, but it's going to be a win-win for the rest of the world. I'm excited. I'm going to be covering this story as more information becomes relevant. But guys, we're out of time. I want to thank you for joining us again today. And if you guys appreciated this story, I would be deeply grateful if you could just like, share, and subscribe. And hey, you know what? If you want to give us a comment or two, that would be great, and I'd be more than happy to respond to those comments as well too. And if you have any ideas as what you'd like to hear and see in any upcoming videos, let me know. I'd be more than happy to. At least I'll be willing to listen and see what I can do about pumping out some new content and valuable content for all of you guys. Again, thank you very much for your time. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. We'll catch you guys on the next one.